On this episode of Crazy Tiger Garage, I'm going to be working on my new project. Apparently one of 8 left in the UK. Going to try and get it road legal and running again. It was sold to me as a running driving project, but as you'll see in the video, it's proved far from that. So this is my latest project that I've managed to get myself into. It's an AJS Regal 50, but it's got a 125 engine in it, and honestly it's been a nightmare. So my plan for this video is to show you guys the steps I go to when I buy a new bike, and going through it, making sure everything is roadworthy and road legal, just on a little 50cc, pretty simple, 125cc, simple little bike like this. But I'm gonna go around it and show you all the little problems with it, and we'll go from there, and hopefully I can fix some of them and get this road legal and driving. So we'll start at the front. Matey who sold this to me told me it's just had the front end, the shocks rebuilt. I don't know how accurate that is. I never really trust what people tell me, because he told me a lot of cool stuff about his bike that turns out to be utter bollocks. But one thing I have noticed almost the second I went to look at it is the brake pads are almost completely gone. Let's see if I can get the camera to focus on that. You can see in there that they are crusty as anything. This disc isn't exactly looking ideal either, really. What's the lip on it the same like? Just saw a really good video by this old Tony about how brake discs on bikes can be deceiving, which I'll link in the description if I remember. Right, what's next? So the headlight is a crummy old plastic thing. It's not original. I'm definitely going to replace that because A, I hate the way it looks, B, it's plastic, and C, it's broken. So immediately first off, you can see the headlight's broken. It's because when I got it here, this kickstand doesn't work, and well, it doesn't work properly, it's not the right height, and someone has ground one of the steering stops off, so the wheel just goes all the way around to the left, and it tipped over on its side when I was getting tools out of my van. I'm having to film in between cars coming along, by the way, so the audio isn't awful on this, because at the moment I am currently outside my mum's house in the countryside on a main road, so I don't really have a garage to work in at the moment. Right, so the bike was starting when I went to bought it, but as with all things, the minute I got it home it wouldn't start, so I've stripped the carb off of it, because from what I can tell it's getting fuel from the tank, which does leak, by the way. There is fuel in the tank, it's getting through the tap down into the carburetor, and then there is fuel in the bowl, but then if you check the spark plug, it is dry as a bone, and I have cranked this over for long enough to completely be out of breath. So, and it has got compression, it has got spark, it's just not getting enough fuel from what I can tell. And I've been trying it. Wait a minute. I've been trying it with the choke on, the choke off, all kinds of stuff. So when you look at the carburetor, which is down here, you can see that it is all gunked up with this kind of stuff. I think this is sealant, because the previous owner didn't have the correct gasket, so he's just banged some sealant on it. So I reckon there's a bunch of sealant stuck inside this now, and it's just clogging up the jet. But I'll get it apart and see what I can do. You can see down there, that's pretty manky. I mean, carburetor should be sparkling clean, and that's not at all. So the seat goes here, which is down here currently. It was held on with one singular nut. This one wasn't grabbing on anything, so it was just loose. This one was on there, so that's it. There's nothing at the front. The bolt holds the fuel tank on, so it was pretty loose. I've just managed to take it off with no tools. What else is wrong with it? Oh, the wiring's awful. Wiring is truly terrible, because someone's bodged a 125 into a 50cc, so it's also a kickstart and not an electric start, so the starter wire is just hanging here. as you can see, and the starter solenoid's still there. So this is going to need the wiring redone on it really for a kickstart engine. That's if I decide to keep this engine, because it does not have a brand on it anywhere from what I can tell. So it could be any old Chinese garbage. Could be some wish.com stuff, you know, so I'd much rather get something a bit more reliable and well known in there, even if it's more reliable Chinese stuff like Lifan, which are alright from what I hear. The linkage is a bit sketch, but it works. It does work. This oil leak is not an oil leak as far as I can tell. I think it's just where I tipped over the bike because of the lack of a steering stop, which is up here. So this is where the steering stop was. You can see someone's ground it off and then painted the frame really badly in brush black. And then that's where the other one is. There. That's where the other steering stop is. So when the steering comes round, these little knobs here hit on this, stops it going too far. Other side doesn't have that. So, oh, also this is loose. Everything's loose on this. Loads of bolts and stuff are loose. This is loose on the kickstart. That's not really that bad. This is loose. There's no nut on the rear brake switch. This is loose as anything, so I need to rebuild the rear drum brake really. Need to fix that. I'm going to pull it apart anyway. But my favourite one of all, by far, is this bar, which has to be directly onto the chassis. Is currently just cable tied on. Someone's just put some cable ties on it. There's no bolt, no nothing holding that on. I can't really see it very well on camera, but there is nothing holding that thing on apart from hopes and dreams and a pair of zip ties. So if you ever lock up the rear brake at any kind of speed, that's just going to spin the whole drum, from what I can tell. The drum should probably move. Yeah, there you go. The drum to move on its own. So what kind of use is that going to be? None. Right, let's see if I can push it around actually. Maybe not. You can see it there. Look, so there's a hole. Nothing holding that together. So that is complete waste. The cable looks okay at least. I don't have to worry about that too much. Rear tyre looks good. It's nice and solid and good tread, and I mean it's not a great brand, but looks cool, big and fat. One of the coolest bits on this bike. It has a number plate. It's not broken. This is another one of my favourite parts. This chain has a lot of movement. You should really not be able to move the chain on the sprocket this much. You can see that's the sign of a worn chain. Is when you can pull it out of the things, out of the teeth on the sprocket. Definitely needs adjusting anyway. I'm not going to be changing that, but what I also have found on this is that the whole sprocket moves independently of the wheel. So these bolts are just kind of, yeah, again, loose. Look, that one's loose as anything. Beautiful. Shock absorbers look okay anyway. Apart from the horrible paint that's gone over it. Oh, it's had a brand new speedometer. It has done exactly 0.2 miles according to this. So yeah. Oh, and the key's down here. The mate who had this before snapped the key off for the fuel tank as well, so I need to just turn it around like that. So yeah. Yeah, a lot of work. Yeah, I have noticed the wheels are different as well, but I don't know if that's standard, honestly. Hopefully someone can tell me in the comments if this is standard, how they are. But the back wheel, I've seen some of these that have a cover on them as well. And I don't know if this one's missing or if it just doesn't have it. It's just a different style. And then the front wheel is a completely different design. I've seen pictures of these with drum brake front ends, So my thoughts are that someone has replaced it with a disc brake front wheel, so it's a completely different front wheel, or a complete front end maybe, I don't know. This doesn't look, this looks very beefy. I don't know if that's just how it is, if they've just spent all their money on the front brake, or what. Oh, the fuel tank leaks. Forgot to mention that. Yeah, it's all dented as well. But yeah, it pouring out fuel from under here. The previous owner just jammed a bunch of tissue paper up there and hoped I wouldn't notice, I think. So it's absolutely heaving fuel out. You can see down here, the fuel, the paint has gone from black, which is the last owner, orange was the owner before, blue was the original, and then silver is the metal underneath, I believe. So, yeah. The guy who originally had this, who had it in orange, so the owner before the guy I bought it from, he claimed he was a bike modifier restorer, and this is how he sold it. And the other guy, and I tried to buy it off him at the time because I thought it would be a good project for £400, and he sold it before I could get to it. And the guy who bought it then took it back to his place, repainted it in black. Really, he said he tidied it up. God knows what it was like before, if this is tidied up. And then I bought it off him for 300 quid about a week and a half later. So apparently these are very rare though. There's only about 8 left in the country, so it should be a good project once it's done. So the engine was starting up, running for a couple of seconds and then cutting out no matter what I was doing, whether I had the choke on or off, fuel delivery okay or not. And as I said, I found this this sealant was holding the gasket together. I don't know why, because the gasket looks in okay condition. Oh, it's another one of these cardboard gaskets that he's cut himself. That's what it is. He's got another one holding it on the inlet as well. So what I found was a big glob of it in the main jet here. So this is from what I'm aware, this is your idle jet, and this is your main jet. This is your float, obviously. Also, a lot of things on this are screw heads, which are a nightmare because half of them are stripped out. Right. Okay. So God's sake, I didn't really want that to come out, but it did. The main jet. The main jet should be in there, and I'll just put a screwdriver down the top and give it a very light tap. It shouldn't take any real force to get out. Oh my god, that's stuck in there. Solid stuff. Right, I'm gonna put it here. Okay. Get my itty bitty screwdriver. Right, there we go. Okay. So that main jet was stuck in there, and as you can see, or maybe not see, can we focus on this please, phone? There we go. As you can possibly see, the end of it is pretty disgusting, especially compared to the other side. So I'll give that a clean up. But it looks okay. The actual jet size looks okay. Oh, the sealant up in there as well. Oh, whoever rebuilt this last time is an idiot. An absolute idiot. And if you're watching this video, you can take a long walk off a short pier. gunked up a little bit. Well, I can't blow through it, so that's not a good sign. You can see it's all trash just on there. One of the holes, this hole here, I don't know how well you can see that. This hole right here. There we go. You can see that white there. That is blocked up with sealant. So I think I've figured out what was wrong. The jet, as you can see, all these holes are black, or you can actually see light through them now. But 3 of them were blocked. Now I've just went and got some thread from my mum, because my mum used to do jewellery. She still does it actually. And it's very, very thin wire. And I've just pushed it through, as you can see, right through. And I've done that, and I had a lot of pushback on these bottom 2, and I think one of these top ones here as well. So, and you can also see that through the middle it's pretty clear, but it was completely gumped up with stuff earlier with sealant. You can see the remains of the sealant on here as well. So let that be a lesson. Never use sealant to seal up your carburetor. It's better that it leaks, in my opinion. I think that's gonna leak everywhere. All right, let's put it back together. We'll see. I've put the bolts in with the nuts on the back, as you can see. You're gonna watch me for 20 minutes try and start this thing now. Or not, I'll just time lapse through it until I eventually get it started. Higher idle. That choke's all the way on, by the way. And see what happens. So, god damn it, bloody seat. I've just got back from the first ride on it and got God, this thing's sketchy. Yeah, it's really sketch. The brakes don't really work. Well, the rear brake isn't attached, as you see, and I was terrified to touch it in case the whole drum spun round them, you know, caused the rear wheel to lock up or something like that. So I didn't touch the rear brakes. We need to sort them out yet. The front brakes squeal like a banshee, but they do kind of work. I went through all the gears, and it's got 4 gears, and all 4 of them seem to engage anyway. It's got a little bit of kick, so, you know, obviously it's running okay. I managed to run it without the choke on at all, and it idled without the choke on at all, so that's an improvement. The speedometer doesn't work at all. That's probably why it's only reading 0.2 of a mile, because it doesn't work. It doesn't feel like it tracks nicely. It wobbles around all over the place on the road, so need to sort that out still. Other than that, it's okay actually. It's all right. Might be okay. Might be a nice runner. Oh, the gear shifter goes the opposite way to what you think. So neutral is where I would consider 4th to be, all the way to the top, and then first you go down 1, and then 2nd and 3rd and 4th. So it's the opposite to what you think. So that took a little bit of getting used to. Put it in neutral twice, trying to go into 2nd. Oh yeah, the seating position's horrible. I'm gonna have to do something about that. The feet, my knee is up around my chest, so if I'm going fast, my knees are up here, which I don't want at all. I want them further down, really. I want to be sat back a little bit. So I'm gonna have to modify this seat probably, maybe, just so I can get a bit better. Even if I just move the seat back so that my knees are a bit like that, might be better. It's an odd bike, odd, very weird, but it's kind of growing on me as it's getting fixed. Don't know what else to say about it. I'll probably call that for video 1, and then crack on in 2nd video trying to fix all the little bits and bobs. Now that I've done a test ride and got it running, which it was sold as a running driving bike, by the way. But I'll go through it and fix all the little bits and bobs, get it so that it's semi-road legal, and then we'll go from there. Could do with some mirrors as well. There's no mirrors on this thing, so I have no idea what's going on behind me. It's a bit scary when you're on a new bike and you want to know what's going on behind you, whether there's a big tractor or something. The exhaust is cool though. I might not bother changing that in the end. It's pretty cool. I'll just have to change this. And preferably get one that folds. We'll see. We'll see.